the way that we go about our day is just as important as the quote unquote self-care things that you hear about. The way that we truly live out the entire day as self-care. And I think that that's something that gets overlooked, but it's probably even more important than all the other stuff. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Haley Cairo. If you guys are new and if you are a returning subscriber, I am so glad you guys are back for another video. I don't know why I just... Anyway, if you guys have not clicked the subscribe button, I would love it if you did that and turned on the notifications so that way you don't miss any more videos. And while you're at it, you guys can follow along on my social media. I wanted to continue with talking about self-care and personal development because you guys know that that is a huge passion of mine. May Movement was founded on bettering yourself to then better others, and that is what I want to continue to share with you guys on this channel. I'm super excited to be sharing also that we're gonna have some new things coming out for you guys for May Movement that is super fun and helpful and functional, and I'm just super excited about it. And that doesn't help you at all because I can't tell you just yet, but basically it's gonna be awesome. That's all I can say. So I think that there might be a little bit of a misconception that some people think that you have to like earn self-care, or it has to be really extravagant to practice self-care. If you can't afford massages and spa days, then like you're doing it wrong. I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. We're gonna talk about 10 different ways that you guys can practice self-care, and this is like as simple as things that you do just by what you think and what you say. That's how simple we're getting here. The first thing with self-care is realizing that not only do you deserve it, but you need it. You can't be go 24/7 or beating yourself down, being negative. It's just not a healthy way to live mentally or physically. The first step is being conscious of it. If you are constantly working, constantly studying, and you don't make time for you, you can't give to others. So remember that. The best version of what you can give to others is by being the best version of yourself. So it's super important. The second way to practice self-care is to clear your mind and your space. When I say your mind, I mean do a brain dump. Whatever's running around in your noggin, just start writing it. Jot it down. It doesn't need to be in order. It doesn't need to be pretty. Just start writing, and it's very freeing because you can then organize those thoughts, but at least get them out of your head. They say that your space is a direct result of what's going on in your mind. So if you're living in clutter, you're living in chaos, chances are your mental space is not doing so hot. So I highly recommend you take some time to purge, declutter. If it's something that really stresses you out to do or you feel really overwhelmed, one of my favorite things is to listen to a sermon or a podcast, an audiobook with headphones. It keeps me incredibly focused because it's like literally in my mind. Like I won't even put it on like a Bluetooth speaker. Like I keep it in my head. It just keeps me so locked into what I'm doing, and I can get all my cleaning done. Similar to the brain dump is journaling. You can kind of figure out things that are stressing you out. You can figure out triggers for you. One thing that has helped me a lot is journaling first thing in the morning, and I talk about that in my Perfect Day of Self-Care video. I will have that linked up here, but journaling is something that it's true. You can really express how you feel, and sometimes when you go back and you're like, wow, this is why I was feeling this way, so here's what I'm not gonna do, it can be a good tool. Saying no and saying yes is a huge part of self-care as well, because if you're stretching yourself too thin, you're not gonna be prioritizing properly, and all of your work is going to be mediocre because you're doing too much. And when you say no to certain things, it's relieving in a sense because you can really focus on what is important to you. On the reverse side of that, sometimes you need to say yes to things, to opportunities, to hanging out with friends, to trying something new. Like it's good to say yes to things like that. Our emotional state is very determined upon our social engagements, and sometimes you feel like you just want to be by yourself. I am the queen of introvert, like I really am. I have to be pushed out of the house sometimes. And if it wasn't for Kyle sometimes being like, come on, here we're going, we're doing this, I would just sit inside and like read a book. And I do recharge that way, but I also really enjoy our weekends when we have really big outings and hang out with our friends. But then on Sunday, I'm able to just go to church, get a little workout in, kind of do my thing, hang out with Kyle, and it's a recharge for me. Number 4 is the grind, no days off, no excuses mentality. I have been learning this the hard way. Thank you, Coach Mike. He is definitely kicking my butt in this area in the best way possible, because having that mentality sometimes you burn yourself out. I have done it with work, I've done it with training, I have done it with relationships. Like I just get to this point where I go so hard that I just completely burn out. And there's this really great comparison between your muscular fatigue and your central nervous system fatigue, and this is like the sports nutritionist in me coming out, but you have to take time off for both things because hormones, especially with us females, is a major part of our everyday lives. When you're trying to chug coffee, your adrenals are going a million miles per minute and you're just stressing yourself out, and you can actually be doing more harm than good. If you're trying to make progress in a fitness or a health area, you can actually be hindering that progress because your body is so stressed out. Your body doesn't know the difference between somebody chasing you and you doing HIIT training. You need to kind of think about that, is that your body does need a break. It wasn't meant to be go, go, go all the time. This leads me into the next tip, which is walking. Movement is super important for your body. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to be exercising. Your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, put that up there, is all the things that your body does when you're not exercising. So you're fidgeting, doing the laundry, gardening, taking your dog for a walk, just moving around, taking the stairs is super important for your body. It actually shows to burn more calories than your daily exercise routine, and it's just really good. It can be very de-stressing. I love to take walks, try to get one in at least once a day, and it's just been something that I really enjoy. I unplug or I listen to a podcast, and it just helps me feel much more grounded, especially when I work and I'm sitting all day. I'll set alarms for every hour and I get up and I walk for 5 minutes. Just do laps. They also say to change your environment is to change your behavior. Think about your senses, your hearing, sight, touch, smell. Those things really do play a role in our mental state. I am very conscious of this now. So when I work, I light a candle or I diffuse oils. I recently did a post sharing about my lighting change. I can't even explain how much of a game changer this has been. I had, I think, 2000 Kelvin light bulbs in my office, and I was so tired all the time down there. I could not focus. So I went onto Amazon and I purchased 5000 Kelvin. So it's white light. It feels like daytime all the time, even if it's nighttime. It makes me so clearly like zoned in to whatever I'm doing. I love it. I'll have those linked below for you guys because they were really affordable. I think it was like 35 bucks for 12 light bulbs. So I just need to order one more pack and my whole office is going to be bright and beautiful. I also make sure that my space is clean. So if my work area is a mess, I set a timer, and however much I can do in 5 to 10 minutes, I will just start cleaning and tearing papers and decluttering. And then I feel much better in my mental head. That's redundant. I just feel better to work in an environment like that. I also like to have like a cozy blanket with me sometimes, or I will listen to soft bossa nova jazz while I work. It's very therapeutic. Speaking of alarms, I will set an alarm to wake up earlier because the less rushing I have to do and the more time I allot for myself, the more I can do during the day. That also means I like to go to bed earlier, so I'm prioritizing sleep. You need 8 hours. I don't care what people say about grind all day, team no sleep. You need your sleep. It is so vital. I could throw up a 10 million infographic charts on why sleep is so important. And if you want me to do a whole video on this, being a chronic insomnia patient, I would gladly do it. Waking up early allows me to have a very lovely, I love that word actually, like it's lovely and it is fantastic. And I started using more positive words. This is gonna sound so cheesy and woo-woo-y, but I've been using better words to describe things during the day, and it's just like you are what you say. So, and think, and using more optimistic words has really helped. Similar to this, what we think and what we say are such an important part of our self-care because attitude is really everything. And I wanted to share this with you guys. This was from my Instagram today. I shared James 1:2-3. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Basically what that's talking about is having joy in all circumstances. It can be really challenging, but the more joy you focus on, learning that everything is truly a test of your perseverance is such an enlightening. This is a little bit of a side tangent, but like I said, the way that we go about our day is just as important as the extra stuff that we do, like the quote unquote self-care things that you hear about, like journaling and face masks and spa days and all that stuff. Like the way that we truly live out the entire day is self-care. And I think that that's something that gets overlooked, but it's probably even more important than all the other stuff. So just keep that in mind. And leading into that, the things that are fun, I like to think of these more as like an end of the week reward or treat. Like I'll paint my nails, did it Friday, skincare stuff, doing a face mask. Those things just really end up feeling like a treat when you know that you've had a really good mental health week, a good work week, and it just is like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? Other things that you can do for your body obviously are to hydrate. I refill my Yeti. This is my May Movement Yeti. How cool is that? Can you guys see that? 3 to 4 times a day. I try to get over 100 ounces every day. I range from like 130 to 150. I eat a lot of micro dense micronutrient dense foods, lots of veggies, 800 grams of veggies a day is my kind of goal. I aim for 10K steps a day. Sometimes it's tough because my cardio equipment is doesn't count as steps when I'm rowing or skiing, but that's where the walks come in. Part of the main movement stuff I'm going to be sharing with you guys is I might be writing a new ebook. I get so many questions asking how to count macros, what's the perfect diet, and what do I think of keto, and I just want to put all of this to rest. And I think some people think that they can't achieve the health and lifestyle that they want because they can't afford a coach or they don't want to have a coach. And if I can give you guys that kind of information, then I'm going to do that. So that is the next plan for Main Movement. If you guys want more information, you can sign up my newsletter. I'll have it linked down below. Similar to our mental state, when we worry about things that we cannot control, we are living in the future. And sometimes you just need to realize that whatever you're worrying about, there's probably something out there that is 10 million times worse. And just to come into the present time and think about now, because anxiety is really all about the future. Not even there yet. So if you guys can try to fixate on just doing your best right now, I promise it'll help change your mindset about things. The last tip I want to give you guys on how you can practice self-care is to do more reflection. So that's through journaling and unplugging and being more with yourself and being comfortable with just yourself. Go for a walk without your phone. Make sure you take some time to journal, whether it's just one line of how your day went, a gratitude list, anything you can do to kind of reflect on your day. It's also very important that I get in my journaling, my Bible study, and my devotional. If you guys check the down bar, I will have links to all of the different products and resources that I talked about in this video. I hope you guys like this. This is really the kind of content that I want to make, and I hope you guys like it. So if you do, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, because that means that I'm doing something right. But as always, I hope you guys are doing really well. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and follow along on social media, and I will see you in the next video.